Good morning. Let's share the word today and have some worship time. So, we're going to jump right in here to the book of Genesis. So going back to the beginning, right? The book of Genesis. I'm going to look in chapter 6, starting at verse 5. We're going to do 5 through 22. Um, this is the beginning of a familiar story. So, hopefully, you might already know this, but if not, maybe we can shed some new light on it here, okay? So here we go, verse 5, Genesis chapter 6. The Lord saw the wickedness of humankind and it was great in the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of their hearts was only evil continually. And the Lord was sorry that he had made humankind on the earth, and it grieved him to his heart. So the Lord said, I will blot out from the earth the human beings I have created, people together with animals and creeping things and birds of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found favor in the sight of the Lord. These are the descendants of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his generation. Noah walked with God, and Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight, and the earth was filled with violence. And God saw that the earth was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted its ways upon the earth. And God said to Noah, I have determined to make an end of all flesh, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. Now I am going to destroy them along with the earth. Make yourself an ark of cypress. Make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and out with pitch. This is how you are to make it. The length of the ark, 300 cubits, its width, 50 cubits, and its height, 30 cubits. Make a roof for the ark, and finish it to a cubit above, and put the door of the ark in its side. Make it with lower, second, and third decks. For my part, I am going to bring a flood of waters on the earth to destroy from under heaven all flesh, in which is the breath of life. Everything that is on the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing, of all flesh, you shall bring 2 of every kind into the ark, to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female. Of the birds according to their kinds, and of the animals according to their kinds, of every creeping thing of the ground according to its kinds. 2 of every kind shall come in to you, to keep them alive. Also take with you every kind of food that is eaten, and store it up, and it shall serve as food for you and for them. Noah did this. He did all that God commanded him. So, the people were corrupt, right? They had fallen to a place where all they did was bring violence to the earth. And we have to think about this from Noah's perspective. Noah is told by God, he said, look, I have failed in this creation. I have made things that are far beyond reckoning. I have made things that cannot come back into the glory, into the fold of God. Therefore, I am going to destroy it all. But you, Noah, because you have been faithful to me, because you are the chosen person, you will get to save and carry on the human race. You will get to save and carry on all of the animals of existence. You get to do that, Noah, because you have been faithful, because you are the one that I show favor to. What a huge burden that sits on Noah's shoulders. To have to do something so grand, so vast, something that would surely make him mocked and scorned by other people. It hadn't rained in years. And then all of a sudden, he's building a giant boat, saying that the earth is going to flood, and that he needs to bring all these animals onto this ark to save them as well, so that in the end, the hope, in the end, that he will be able to carry on the world as we know it. It's kind of starting to sound familiar, right? We get to a point where we are called upon by God to do something magnificent for his kingdom. Right? As true followers, as true believers, we'll get to that point where God just gives us that task, where God gives us what he wants us to do for his kingdom. It's probably not going to be to build a giant ark and to take everybody, take your immediate family and that's it, and all the animals 2 by 2 onto the ark. It's probably not going to happen, right? Because God made the promise later on to Noah that, he will not do this again, right? Through his covenant. Noah entered into this covenant with God, saying, hey, I'll do what you want me to do, and you'll spare my family. So Noah builds the ark. He's faithful. He listens. He carries out God's task for him, right? So God really had to have a special place in his heart for Noah and for his family, because he could have easily wiped everything out and just started again, right? Hit the reset button without sparing Noah, without sparing 2 of each kind of animal. He could have gone through creation again. If he manifested Adam in the beginning, he could have manifested another human made in his image like Adam was. He didn't have to take Noah's family. He could have just restarted new and afresh, but he didn't, because Noah found that favor with God. Like Noah was a faithful and obedient servant. Now it says back at the beginning of our reading here in verse 5 that the Lord saw the wickedness of humankind was great in the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of their hearts was only evil continually. We know that from the time of original sin, right, whenever Adam and Eve made the choice to eat from the tree which was forbidden, to eat that fruit, that evil resides in our heart, that they made the choice for us to be inherently evil and to not do good, right? To strive. We have to strive. We have to work to do good. But Noah persevered through that. And Noah did what God commanded him to do. He listened. And now we have this wonderful story of God using someone, as God does throughout the Bible. God using someone possibly unexpected, possibly unknown, possibly someone that is laughed at, would be mocked for what they're doing to build this magnificent vessel. Noah wasn't a shipbuilder. He didn't know how to make things float. But how did he make it work? He followed God's directions. You know, God doesn't always give us specific details into how he wants us to do his work here on earth. It would be fantastic if, you'd wake up in the morning and, God had given you a checklist of things to do today, to advance his kingdom. Wouldn't that be great? You just wake up and there's like a text message from God and it just says, hey, today you are going to, mow Sally's lawn. That would really help her out. And you're going to, volunteer at the food bank and, just this checklist of things to do to help glorify his kingdom. Today you're gonna build an ark to save all of humanity. But we don't get those kind of messages. We have to look, we have to listen, we have to be aware of how God is talking to us. So Noah was able to do that. I think we need to do the same. We need to look for those signs when God is trying to talk to us, trying to tell us what to do. You know what? You drive by the house down the street and you see that the grass is a little high. Maybe you knock on their door and say, hey, you know what? Can I mow your grass for you? I noticed it's a little high. Maybe you just haven't had time. Maybe they're caring for a sick loved one and just, that's more important than mowing their grass right now. And what a huge blessing that would be to them if you come and mow their grass for them. Just simple little things, something that might take you 20 minutes out of your day just to make someone else feel better. So, we're going to go to a time of worship. Um, Today's song is We the Kingdom. The song is God So Loved. It's an acoustic version. It's just a beautiful song, just to worship the Lord too. And today, as you're praying through that, just kind of ask God, hey, you know what? What's your agenda for me today? We have our own personal agendas each and every day, things that we need to get done. Oh, today I need to, get the dishes done. I need to clean the house. I need to put away the toys, whatever that may be. What's on God's agenda today for you? What's he calling you to do today that's not on your agenda? Look for those opportunities. Look for those places for you to serve him today. Okay, so enjoy your time of worship. Commune with the Lord. Look for those opportunities today. Have a great day.